Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive.
No.
And today we're doing something really special. We're going on a global treasure hunt, but we're not looking for gold or jewels. No, we're searching for something even more precious. We're seeking out those heartwarming stories of kindness unfolding all over the world, those golden moments of compassion that remind us what it truly means to be human.
You know, what always fascinates me about these stories is that they're not just feel-good anecdotes, they offer a glimpse into something deeper. It's like they're revealing these hidden currents of empathy and generosity that connect us all, even in a world that's often, dominated by headlines of conflict and division.
It's like we're tuning into the heartbeat of humanity. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's start unpacking some of these stories, shall we?
Yeah.
Our first stop takes us to San Francisco.
Okay.
Now, picture this. We've got a tech company right in the heart of Silicon Valley, and they're doing something pretty extraordinary. They're offering free coding classes,
Oh, wow.
but not for the usual, tech-savvy crowd. These classes are specifically designed for senior citizens.
You're kidding. That's amazing. What a cool idea.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, on the surface, you might think, okay, it's about bridging the digital divide.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's definitely part of it. But it goes so much deeper than that.
I bet. What else is going on?
Well, it's about recognizing that learning is a lifelong journey. It's never too late to embrace new skills, to connect with others in meaningful ways.
And it challenges those stereotypes, right, about seniors and technology. I mean, age is just a number when it comes to learning something new.
Exactly. And think about the sense of accomplishment those seniors must feel, not just from mastering these new skills, but also from connecting with, younger generations who are eager to share their knowledge.
Right. It creates this beautiful cycle of learning and mentorship, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's breaking down stereotypes and fostering a sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine, it makes me think about like my own grandparents, right?
Oh, yeah.
How intimidating technology can be when you haven't grown up with it, right?
Totally. Totally.
So to have that support and encouragement, it can make all the difference.
It really can. And it highlights that transformative power of shared experiences too, right? These classes, they're not just about teaching seniors how to code. They're about creating a space where people from different generations can, just come together, share their stories, and learn from each other.
It's about those human connections.
Yeah.
Okay, so ready for our next stop. We're going to travel across the globe to Stockholm, Sweden.
Oh, fantastic.
And we're going to find another heartwarming example of community in action. And this time, it's all about welcoming refugees.
Okay.
With open arms and something called welcome kits.
Welcome kits. Tell me more.
So these kits, they're more than just practical supplies. They're a tangible expression of empathy and support for those who have, honestly, been through unimaginable hardship. Imagine arriving in a new country, maybe fleeing conflict or persecution. You have nothing but the clothes on your back and a heavy heart. And then to be greeted with a kit that's filled with, essential items, language resources, and a message of welcome.
That's got to be so powerful.
It is.
Especially during such a vulnerable time, to know that you're not alone, that someone cares.
It's like a lifeline, right? A
Right.
beacon of hope. And it's not just about meeting those basic needs. It's about restoring a sense of dignity and hope.
Exactly. It's about saying, hey, you are welcome here. We see you, and we're here to support you as you, rebuild your life.
Exactly. And it speaks to the importance of creating systems of care that are both practical, they give you what you need,
Yeah.
but also compassionate, that they address that emotional need.
Right, that human touch. That makes all the difference.
And it's a powerful reminder that even in the face of these massive global challenges, we can choose to respond with empathy and generosity.
We can choose hope. We can choose kindness.
Now, this next story might surprise you a little bit. We're heading back to the U.S., but not for another feel-good community initiative. This time, we're looking at, kind of an unexpected act of kindness from, of all people, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, that is unexpected.
Right, I know.
I'm intrigued, though. Tell me more.
So this story reminds us that, compassion can emerge from the most unexpected sources. Kind of challenges those assumptions we might have about people, reminds us to look beyond those labels.
We often forget that people are complex.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Donald Trump, who's often, known for his divisive rhetoric, he made this unannounced visit to a children's hospital, brought toys, and spent time with the patients.
Wow. That's really something. It makes you think,
It does. It reminds us that even those we might disagree with, politically, are still capable of empathy, of human connection.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get caught up in that us versus them mentality, especially in today's, polarized world.
Absolutely.
But this story, it challenges us to look beyond those divisions and recognize that shared humanity that binds us all.
It's a good reminder that we should never just write someone off.
Right.
There's always more to the story.
Always. Okay, you ready for our next stop? This time we're heading to Kenya. What do you think?
Let's go! I love this. I'm always fascinated by how acts of kindness can ripple outwards, inspiring others and creating like a chain reaction of compassion.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Like throwing a pebble into a pond and watching those ripples spread out.
Exactly.
Okay, so in Nairobi, we find a story that really beautifully illustrates this ripple effect. We've got students from different schools coming together for this incredible initiative. They're calling it the Friendship Forest.
The Friendship Forest. I love that name already.
Right.
Right.
And it's about much more than just planting trees.
I bet.
It's about nurturing this sense of community and shared responsibility for the environment.
It's so inspiring to see young people, stepping up and taking the lead in creating a more sustainable future. It speaks to their understanding, that we're all connected, and their commitment to creating a better world for, themselves and for future generations.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, we get it, we're all in this together. And so imagine these students, right, from different backgrounds and walks of life, coming together to plant trees, to nurture them, to watch them grow.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful symbol of hope, don't you think?
I do.
It reminds us that even small actions, when we multiply them, can have a profound impact on the world around us.
And it highlights the importance of that connection with nature, too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, by planting trees, these students, they're not only contributing to a greener environment, but they're also deepening their own understanding of, the natural world and their role within it. It's like caring for the planet. It's not just about these abstract concepts like climate change. It's about fostering a sense of love and respect for, for the living world around us.
That's so true. It's about that connection. It's like recognizing that we're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. And speaking of weaving communities together, our next stop takes us to London.
Okay.
Where we find a story that's both practical and heartwarming. Have you heard of the community fridge?
Oh, yeah. The community fridge. That's such a cool idea. It's like, a shared refrigerator where people can, donate surplus food?
Right. It prevents waste, and then, those who need it can access food free of charge.
It's brilliant. It addresses food insecurity while also fostering that spirit of, sharing and solidarity within the community.
Exactly. And it's a great example of how we can tackle these, systemic issues.
Right.
Like food waste and poverty. And we can do it through collective action, through that spirit of generosity.
It's like we're saying, hey, we're all in this together. Let's share what we have.
Right. And create a world where everyone has enough.
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of acts of generosity, our next story takes us to Tokyo.
Okay.
A city known for its, efficiency and order, but also for its sense of community and respect for others. And this story really illustrates that. So picture this. A passerby finds a wallet.
Okay.
And it contains a significant amount of money.
Oh, wow.
Now, instead of keeping it, this individual went to great lengths to return the wallet to its rightful owner. And get this, it was an elderly man.
That's incredible.
It is.
It really speaks to that inherent goodness, doesn't it? Like that honesty and integrity are still valued.
And that doing the right thing, even when it's, inconvenient, is its own reward.
Exactly. It's about having empathy, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Imagine that relief and gratitude that elderly man must have felt.
Oh, absolutely. It's a simple act, but with huge impact. And it makes you wonder, right? Would you return a wallet with that much money?
Yeah.
It's a question we should all ask ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it really reveals a lot about, our value.
Right. Our moral compass.
Exactly. Speaking of actions that ripple outwards, let's talk about the Pay It Forward movement. We're going to Melbourne for this one.
Oh, I love Pay It Forward. What a beautiful concept.
It is. So there's this cafe owner in Melbourne who's implemented this really heartwarming system.
Oh, tell me about it.
Okay, so they have a Pay It Forward board at the cafe, right?
Yeah.
And customers can prepay for, coffee or meals for those who might not be able to afford it.
I love that. What a simple but effective way to, spread kindness.
Right. And it creates this chain reaction. One act of generosity inspiring another, and another spreading warmth and generosity throughout the community.
It's like a spark that ignites a fire.
Yes. And it's a reminder that, you never know what someone else might be going through, right?
Yeah.
that person who's, struggling to buy a cup of coffee. Maybe they're having just the worst day. And a simple act of kindness like this could be just what they need.
It could change their whole perspective.
Exactly. And it brings us back to that idea that we're all interconnected, that even those smallest acts of compassion can make a big difference. Speaking of reaching out and touching lives, let's go back to the coding classes for seniors in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, I loved that story.
Me too. It's such a great example of, the power of intergenerational relationships.
It shows you how we can learn from each other no matter our age.
Exactly. Those classes, they're not just about the tech skills.
Right.
They're about bridging that generational divide.
And fostering those connections.
Yes. It's about, recognizing that everyone, regardless of age, has something valuable to offer and something to learn.
The seniors bring their wisdom, their life experiences. The younger generation brings their tech skills, their enthusiasm, and it's just this amazing exchange.
It is. And it reminds us that, learning is a lifelong journey. It's never too late to embrace new challenges, to connect with others in those meaningful ways.
And it challenges those stereotypes, too, about technology being just for young people.
Totally. It shows how technology can actually be a powerful tool for connection, for staying engaged in the world.
Right. And it makes you think about, all the hidden talents and passions within our senior communities, just waiting to be discovered and nurtured.
It really does. It's a call to action for all of us to create more opportunities for intergenerational connection and to recognize the invaluable contributions that, seniors make to our society.
Absolutely. So ready for another story? This one takes us to Stockholm, Sweden, where they're doing some amazing things to welcome refugees.
The Welcome Kits initiative. Oh, I love this story. It's such a powerful example of, empathy and solidarity.
It's more than just, handing out supplies. It's about sending a message of hope and support.
Exactly. Making those newcomers feel seen, welcomed. It's like saying, you're safe here. We're here for you.
Imagine arriving in a new country. You've left everything behind. You're starting over.
Right.
And to be greeted with a kit that says, we care.
It's about restoring dignity and hope to those who have lost so much. It's truly inspiring, the kindness that people are capable of, even in the face of global challenges.
It really shows you the best of humanity, doesn't it?
It does. Okay, ready to travel to Kenya again?
Let's go! I love the stories from Kenya. So much energy and hope.
This one's all about that energy and hope. It's about young people taking action to protect the environment.
Oh, tell me more.
It's called the Friendship Forest Initiative. It's a group of students from all different schools coming together to plant trees.
Wow.
But it's, about so much more than that. It's about nurturing a sense of responsibility for the planet, inspiring others to take action.
It's about that ripple effect again, isn't it? Like one small action can inspire countless others. And it reminds us that we're all part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely. And that even small actions can have a huge impact, especially when we all work together.
Yeah, it's about collective action, right? Understanding that we're all interconnected.
And it's about hope. It's about these young people saying, we're not going to just sit back and watch the planet be destroyed. We're going to do something about it.
They're taking ownership. They're taking action. It's beautiful.
Okay, ready for another story about community action? This one's from London, and it's all about food.
Ooh, food! I'm always up for a good food story. Tell me more.
Okay, so this community in London has come up with this amazing initiative called the Community Fridge. Have you heard of this?
I think so, but remind me.
Okay, so basically it's this shared fridge, right? And people can donate surplus food, so instead of throwing it away, it goes to the fridge.
Right, so it reduces waste.
Exactly. And then, anyone who needs food can come and take what they need, free of charge.
I love that idea. It's so practical and compassionate at the same time.
It is. It addresses food insecurity, but it also fosters a sense of community.
And it tackles that big problem of food waste, right? I mean, so much perfectly good food gets thrown away.
Right. It's crazy. And this is such a simple yet brilliant solution.
And it shows you the power of collective action.
Absolutely. Okay, now for something completely different. Ready for a story about the power of art?
Oh, I love art. Always. Tell me about it.
This one takes us to Rio de Janeiro, and it's about a street artist who's using his talents to bring beauty and hope to, well, of all places, hospital waiting areas.
Wow. That's really special. It's like taking art to the people who need it most.
Right. Imagine you're in a hospital waiting room. It's probably a stressful time, right?
Definitely. Sterile environment, lots of worry.
Exactly. And then You look up and see these vibrant murals.
It could totally change the whole atmosphere, bring a little bit of joy to a difficult situation.
It's a reminder that art has the power to transcend those boundaries, to connect with us on a deeper level, and to offer solace and inspiration, even in the midst of hardship.
It's like art is a universal language, right? It speaks to our hearts and souls. And it's so powerful to see it used in a way that brings comfort and hope to people who are going through tough times.
Exactly. Speaking of compassion that goes beyond human boundaries, let's head to Athens, Greece, for our next story. This one's about animals.
Ah, I love animal stories.
This one's really heartwarming. There's this dedicated network of volunteers in Athens, and they're working tirelessly to rescue and care for stray dogs.
That's incredible work. They're giving a voice to the voiceless.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we share this planet with all creatures,
Mm-hmm.
and that we have a responsibility to care for them.
It's extending that circle of compassion to include those who are often overlooked and marginalized.
And it reminds us that compassion doesn't have to be limited to humans, It can encompass all living beings.
It's a beautiful example of that. Okay, so what's our last story?
Okay, this last one takes us back to the United States. Remember we talked about Donald Trump earlier?
Oh, yeah, his visit to the children's hospital.
Right. So it's a reminder that compassion can come from the most unexpected places,
Mm-hmm.
and that we should be careful about judging people too quickly.
We all have the capacity for kindness. It's about choosing to act on it.
Exactly. It's amazing, right? Like we started with coding classes for seniors and ended up with, rescuing dogs in Athens.
It's like, who knew kindness could take us on such an adventure?
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And it just shows, I think, how kindness can blossom in those, most unexpected corners of the world.
It's like we've been mapping out these, constellations of compassion, haven't we? All across the globe. And it really drives home the point that these aren't just isolated incidents. They're part of something much larger.
Yeah, like a global movement.
Exactly. It's a testament to that enduring power of the human spirit, right? To connect, to care, to really make a difference.
And it makes you realize, doesn't it, that kindness isn't this, rare commodity.
Right.
It's woven into the very fabric of who we are.
Totally. It's in those everyday choices we make.
Exactly. Those small gestures that, on their own might seem insignificant. But,
Yeah.
When you add them all up, they create a world that's a little bit brighter, a little bit more humane.
Yeah, totally. And I think it comes down to recognizing those moments, seizing those opportunities to just spread a little kindness, whether it's offering a helping hand, a kind word, or just a listening ear.
Just being present.
Yeah, because even the smallest act, it can have a ripple effect.
Like that pebble in the pond.
Exactly. And create a chain reaction of compassion that can touch so many lives.
I love that visual. It's so powerful. And it makes me think of that quote by the Dalai Lama, "Be kind whenever possible.
Yeah.
It is always possible."
It's such a good one. So simple, but so profound.
It is. It's like a reminder that kindness is a choice we can make
Right.
in every moment, in every interaction.
Every single day.
Exactly. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into kindness, what for you is the biggest takeaway? What's that connecting thread that runs through all these stories across continents and cultures?
For me, what really stands out is that kindness, it's a universal language. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you believe, what your background is. Kindness speaks to that shared humanity.
To our desire to connect.
Yeah, to care for each other, to make a positive impact on the world.
It's a language that resonates deep within us. It reminds us that we're not alone, that even in a world that can sometimes feel chaotic, there's a fundamental goodness that binds us together.
And it's a language that we can all learn to speak, to express, to share with the world.
So beautifully said. As we close out this episode, what message would you leave our listeners with? What's that spark you hope this conversation ignites within them?
My hope is that it inspires them to look for those everyday opportunities to just spread a little kindness, be the ripple in their own communities, contribute to that global tapestry of compassion that we've been talking about. Because, even the smallest act of kindness can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. What will your act of kindness be today?
Thanks for joining us. It's been such a pleasure.
Until next time, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another.